The silence of space was a deceptive thing. For most, it was the backdrop of all exploration, a cold, indifferent void stretching endlessly in all directions. But for Captain Alya Trent, space hummed with potential. Every star, every distant moon, seemed to whisper ancient secrets waiting to be uncovered. Alya sat in the command chair of the Stellar Dawn, a sleek exploration ship outfitted for deep space missions. Around her, the soft hum of the ship's systems pulsed in a steady rhythm. The crew worked in quiet efficiency, but tension hung in the air. They were far from home, far beyond any known star charts, chasing rumors and faint energy signatures that barely registered on their sensors. "Anything yet?" Alya asked, her voice cutting through the stillness. "Nothing solid, Captain," replied Lieutenant Mira Kaur, her sharp blue eyes scanning the data streams on her console. "But the readings are stronger. Whatever it is, we're close." Alya leaned forward, her gaze locking onto the main view screen. Beyond it, the dark expanse stretched into infinity, the only light coming from distant stars that seemed impossibly far away. But her instincts told her they were on the verge of something. She could feel it, a stirring, a sensation deep within her bones, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. "Take us in closer," Alya ordered. "Let's see what we're dealing with." The Stellar Dawn glided forward, engines purring as it navigated the asteroid field. Massive rocks drifted lazily through space, their surfaces pockmarked with craters and debris. A small shimmer caught Alya's eye, and her heart skipped a beat. "There, right there," she said, pointing at the screen. Mira magnified the image, revealing a massive structure partially hidden behind an asteroid. It was ancient, made of dark, jagged stone-like material that seemed to drink in the light around it. The structure was shaped like a towering spire, spiraling into a needle-like point, half buried in the rock. "What the hell is that?" whispered Kalen, the ship's chief engineer, leaning over Mira's shoulder. "Unknown," Alya murmured, "but it's not natural." "Captain," Mira said, her voice tight with unease, "I'm picking up energy signatures. Strong ones. This thing isn't just some rock formation." Alya's eyes narrowed. "Prepare a landing party. I want to see this up close." Minutes later, Alya and her team stood in the airlock, suited up in their sleek, armored EVA suits. The doors hissed open, and the cold, sharp bite of space greeted them. Stepping out onto the surface of the asteroid was like entering a tomb. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the soft hum of their suits' life support systems. The structure loomed before them, dwarfing everything around it. Up close, it was even more alien, etched with symbols and markings that seemed to twist and shift when viewed from different angles. "Doesn't look like any known civilization," Kalen said, his voice crackling through the comms. Alya nodded. "Keep your eyes open. This place, it's ancient." They approached the base of the spire cautiously, the weight of its presence pressing down on them. The air felt thick, as if something unseen was watching, waiting. As they rounded a corner, Mira's voice crackled over the comms. "Captain, you're going to want to see this." Alya hurried to her side. Mira was kneeling near a large stone slab embedded in the ground, half covered in dust. At its center was a smooth, polished disc, about the size of a manhole cover, glowing faintly with a soft blue light. "Energy readings are off the charts," Mira said, her fingers hovering over the device. Alya's eyes were fixed on the disc. Something about it felt alive. Not in the way a machine hums with electricity, but in a deeper, almost primal way, as if it were pulsing with the heartbeat of something ancient and powerful. "Don't touch it," Alya warned, stepping closer. It got, but it was too late. The moment Mira's fingertips brushed the surface of the disc, the ground beneath them shuddered violently. A deep, resonant hum filled the air, growing louder by the second. The spire above them began to glow, lines of light tracing the strange symbols etched into its surface. "Fall back," Alya shouted, grabbing Mira's arm and pulling her away. The light intensified, and a powerful wave of energy exploded outward from the spire, knocking them to the ground. For a moment, everything was a blur of light and sound, a chaotic maelstrom of raw power. Then, just as quickly as it had started, the light dimmed, and the world fell silent once more. Alya lay on her back, staring up at the dark sky, her heart pounding in her chest. Slowly, she sat up, her eyes scanning the area. The spire still glowed faintly, but the energy had receded. "What just happened?" Kalen asked, his voice shaky. Alya didn't answer immediately. Her eyes were drawn to the glowing disk, now pulsing gently in a rhythmic pattern. She felt it again, that stirring deep within her, but now it was stronger, more insistent. The disk wasn't just an artifact, it was alive. "We've awakened something," Alya whispered, her voice barely audible. "Something old and dangerous." Mira's eyes widened. "Captain, I think it's communicating." Alya knelt beside the disk, watching the pulse of its light. It was rhythmic, like a heartbeat, and somehow, in the back of her mind, she could sense something, reaching out. It wasn't language, not in the way she understood it, but it was trying to convey something, a feeling, an intention. "We need to get back to the ship," Alya said, standing abruptly. "We need to run every scan, every analysis. Whatever this is, it's not just some ancient relic. It's alive," Mira finished, her voice trembling. Alya nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. Whatever they had found, it was beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. And if the energy readings were any indication, it held the kind of power that could change the course of history. Or end it. As the stellar dawn left the asteroid field behind, Alya stood on the bridge, staring out at the infinite expanse of space. In the cargo bay below, the glowing disk sat sealed within a containment field, pulsing softly, waiting. Alya didn't know what was coming, but she knew one thing for certain. The universe had just woken up, and humanity was no longer alone. This chapter sets the tone of mystery, danger, and discovery while introducing key elements like the artifact and Alya's deep intuition about the galaxy's secrets. It leads into the larger narrative while establishing the stakes for the unfolding story. Alya stared at the containment chamber through the reinforced glass wall of the ship's lab. Inside, the disk pulsed with a hypnotic, rhythmic glow, its faint blue light washing over the sterile walls. It had been hours since they'd brought the artifact on board, and every passing second seemed to draw her in closer to its strange, silent power. "You're still here," a voice said from behind her. Alya turned to see Mira, the ship's science officer, stepping into the room. Her face was lit up by the same glow, a mixture of wonder and tension in her eyes. "Couldn't stay away," Alya said, crossing her arms. "It feels like it's calling to me, to all of us." Mira nodded, glancing at the containment chamber. "The readings are unlike anything I've ever seen. We've run every scan, every diagnostic. There's nothing like it in our databases. The material is, well, it defies all logic. And the energy signature." "What about the energy?" Alya asked, her voice tightening. Mira hesitated before responding. "It's growing, slowly but steadily. Whatever this thing is, it's getting stronger." Alya's eyes narrowed. "Stronger how? Hard to say, but it's as if it's feeding on something. Not radiation, not heat, I think." Mira paused, clearly grappling with the enormity of her thought. "I think it's feeding on us, on the ship, our presence." A chill ran down Alya's spine. She turned back to the artifact, the pulsing light now feeling more like a heartbeat, steady and patient. "Is it dangerous?" "I don't know," Mira admitted, "but it's intelligent. There's something in there. I can feel it." Alya had felt it too. The moment Mira touched the artifact, it had responded, almost like it recognized her. But what did it want? "Has it communicated anything yet?" Alya asked, stepping closer to the glass. "Not in the traditional sense. No language, no signals, but there's a pattern in the energy waves. I've been running them through the translator, trying to decode them. It's like it's speaking in concepts, emotions. It's as if it's offering something." "Offering what?" Mira's voice lowered. "Power." Alya felt a surge of adrenaline. "Power?" Mira nodded, her eyes wide. "I've been cross-referencing the energy patterns with known data. It's similar to neural activity. Whatever this thing is, it's designed to enhance cognitive functions, awareness, reflexes, perception. In short, it could evolve us." Alya stepped back, her mind racing. "Evolve us? How?" "The scans show it's capable of interfacing with biological systems, our nervous system specifically. It's not magic or mysticism. This is advanced technology beyond anything we've seen. It could unlock parts of our brain we've never accessed before." Alya stared at Mira, her mind trying to catch up with what she was hearing. Evolution? Enhancement? The implications were staggering. But there was an undercurrent of danger in Mira's voice, something that made Alya pause. "And the risks?" Alya asked, her voice hardening. Mira bit her lip. "That's the part we don't fully understand. It's an alien artifact, and we don't know how it'll interact with human biology in the long term. The energy signature is overwhelming. We've already detected small anomalies in the ship's systems. The crew is reporting headaches, dizziness. Whatever power this thing offers, it's not without its cost. Alya exhaled slowly, her eyes fixed on the glowing disk. There was always a cost. She had seen it time and again in their explorations. Every new discovery came with its own dangers, its own sacrifices. "What's our next step?" Alya asked, forcing herself to focus. "I'd like to run a controlled test," Mira said cautiously. "We need to know what it's capable of, but we can't rush into this blind. I recommend starting with a basic neural link, something non-invasive, to see how the artifact responds." Alya considered the idea, her gaze never leaving the pulsing glow. "Do it, but only with volunteers." Mira no, dead and left to make the preparations, leaving Alya alone with the artifact once again. She stood there for a long moment, watching it, feeling its pull. It was hard to explain, but there was something about it, something ancient, almost familiar. She had always believed that humanity was capable of more than it had achieved. In her years of exploration, she had seen wonders beyond imagination, but this was something different. The artifact held the potential to change everything. It wasn't just an opportunity, it was an evolution. But Alya also knew that power, especially power like this, came with responsibility. If they were going to unlock the potential of the artifact, they had to do so carefully, or risk losing themselves to it. Later that day, in the ship's medical bay, the first test began. Mira and Dr. Hendricks, the chief medical officer, had set up a neural interface, a non-invasive device designed to read brain activity and connect with the artifact. Kalen, the engineer, volunteered to be the test subject, eager to see what the artifact could do. "Ready, Kalen?" Mira asked, her fingers hovering over the controls. Kalen grinned, lying back in the examination chair. "I've been ready for this since we found that thing." "Don't get cocky," Alya warned from the observation window. "We don't know what this thing is capable of." Yeah, I'm just getting a little brain boost. What could go wrong?" Alya frowned but didn't reply. The tension in the room was thick as Mira activated the interface. A soft hum filled the air, and the artifact began to pulse in sync with the neural waves from the machine. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Kalen's eyes widened. I feel it," he whispered. "Feel what?" Alya asked, her voice sharp. "It's like everything's clearer. My mind, it's faster. I can see connections, patterns. It's like my brain is firing on all cylinders." Mira's eyes were fixed on the monitors. "His brain activity is off the charts. This is incredible." Kalen's smile faded slightly, replaced by a look of intense concentration. "I can feel it, pushing, like it's trying to show me something. It's so much information. Too much." "Shut it down," Alya ordered immediately. But before Mira could deactivate the interface, Kalen gasped, his body jerking in the chair. His eyes glazed over, and his breathing became erratic. "Kalen!" Alya shouted, rushing toward him as Dr. Hendricks frantically began disconnecting the device. Mira slammed the controls, shutting down the interface. The artifact dimmed, its glow fading to a faint pulse. Kalen slumped in the chair, panting heavily. "Kalen, talk to me," Alya said, gripping his arm. For a moment, there was only silence. Then Kalen opened his eyes, blinking rapidly. He looked around the room, his breathing steadying. "I'm okay," he said, his voice shaky, "but I saw something." "What did you see?" Alya asked, her heart racing. Kalen's eyes locked onto hers, and for the first time since they'd brought the artifact aboard, Alya saw fear in his eyes. "I saw the future, or possible futures. It's hard to explain, but it's not just enhancing us, Captain. It's trying to guide us. It's giving us a choice." "A choice?" Mira asked, her voice barely a whisper. Kalen nodded. "Yeah, a choice, and I think we're not the first ones to make it." Alya's blood ran cold as she glanced back at the artifact, still pulsing faintly behind the glass. They had unlocked the artifact's power, but what it was offering might be far more than they had bargained for. The test had opened a door they couldn't close. Alya knew they were standing on the edge of something profound, something that could propel humanity forward or destroy them completely. But one thing was certain, the artifact had chosen them. And now, it was up to Alya to decide whether to embrace that gift or to fear it.